Welcome to Fire and Life Talk, transforming a world one heart at a time.
Hello, and welcome to Fire and Life Talk. We are back again. I am your host, Pastor Gary, and let me tell you something. We got a wonderful show today. We have a young lady that's on today that has gone through challenges, and she's going to share those, but she's going to share also the way she overcame and her successes. But before we get to her, I want to remind you to like, subscribe, follow, and leave some comments. I'm still working on that, y'all. But until then, we're going to bring in our co-host, that beautiful, lovely Miss Jackson.
Well, hello. I love that introduction.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about our show today. This is going to be wonderful. I love to cook, so I'm excited about hearing things about food.
Well, good. Well, I was going to say, I didn't interject that in there, but the title of our show today is Food for Life, right?
That's right.
All right. I think we'll get some food for our soul and some nice recipes and everything for our body and our mind as well. So one thing about this guest that's coming up is through her challenges, and I'm telling you, y'all got to stay tuned in because this is very exciting. About her challenges, she never gave up hope. And even if she did, the challenges, sometimes we give up hope. Sometimes we get so bogged down and like a tunnel vision where we can't see out and we lose hope.
Yes, we do. And that is something that is a challenge in itself, losing hope.
Yeah. What is hope? You had the definition. We were talking earlier.
Yes, I did. It's a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen.
Yeah, that's powerful right there.
Yes,
so
it
we
is.
Have to be expecting for change. And that's what our ministry is all about, is transforming a world, the way you think, and the world one heart at a time. But I tell you what, I ain't gonna say talk too long, but I guess I just did. But we're gonna bring in our guest. She's a personal chef. She works in the community, CEO of her company. I tell you what, let her tell us and the audience more about herself. We'd like to welcome Ashley Tresoline.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
How are you?
Ashley, how are you doing today?
I'm great. It's a lovely day here in New England, so the sun's shining. I can't complain.
Now, see, that is a powerful thing about the internet, electronic platforms. You're way on the East Coast and we're in Texas. So welcome to Texas.
Wait, thank you. I mean, I'm in Texas than it is.
Now, I want to share too. We had a guest on here one time. We talk about our guests being in the green room, and they came on and they said that there was no snacks in the green room. So I was thinking today, when Ashley's coming in, she'll have plenty of snacks in her own green room.
Well, my green room's in the next room, my kitchen. But that's plenty snacked in there, but I don't know on a virtual green room. I guess you would have to send their package.
That's what I tell the guests. I tell the guests, bring your own snacks. You'll be in the green room, but you got to bring your own snacks. But again, it's a pleasure having you. Thank you for taking out the time, because I know you're a very busy person. So let's just get into the show. Tell us about yourself.
Oh boy. So I'm a personal chef and food educator is how I classify myself. I teach people how to be healthy and how to treat food as medicine from
Okay.
ages 4 to 100. And yes, if you are
Wow.
100, you can still learn something.
That's
At least
right.
I think you can
Yeah.
learn something every day. I learned something new the other day. And I love teaching and sharing my food knowledge with people, whether it be on my show on E360 Food for Life or in my blog or media appearances or just, quick little videos on social media or doing something like this. I like sharing my knowledge. I cook for people, I teach them, I get involved in my community. I have a lot of projects with some nonprofits I've been working with over the years that I love doing. I just started a new one last week.
That's
Wow.
great. We're gonna get to all of that because that was one of the most exciting things, that how you incorporate your passion, how you incorporated your challenges to help others, especially you mentioned that you teach from 4 to 100
Yeah.
on eating healthy and changing the inside out. And I think that's just awesome that you're touching a whole different generation to come up and think healthy. From our generation, it was like practicing medicine. They say, well, coffee's good for you. Then they say, no, coffee's not good for you. So we went through that with certain medicines and all that. That's another show. But
That's a different topic. Yeah.
yeah, it's a different topic. But one of the, in looking at your products and looking at your website and everything, one thing that was a lot of things that stuck out, especially the marketing. But one of your sayings that stuck out to me is challenges don't have to be the end of your dreams. Challenges don't have to be the end of your dreams. So if you would share about some of the challenges that you faced, even at a younger age.
So most people think that, you do A, B, C, D, you go to college, you get married, you get your job and do all that stuff in some variation of that order. I kind of went in my variation was like an up and down line and a squiggle somewhere in the middle. My life, I had to get okay with it being more of a gray area with my health because I have MS. And when I got sick, I was starting to show signs when I was about 18, 19 years old. And I was officially diagnosed at 21. So the way I thought my life was going to look definitely did not look that way. So it took me some time and I got some challenges and lots of doctors later and lots of jobs later. I figured out what was for me and I decided right before I turned 30 that I wanted to start my own business and I wanted to help other people like me once my disease stabilized, and I've been doing that ever since.
Wow,
Wow.
that's awesome. So how long have you had MS?
Well, I would love to tell you how old I'm going to be in July.
Oh well, no, don't do that then.
So I've had it my whole adult life is how I put it, because I have a big birthday coming up this summer and I always joke that, I've basically been living with it for a little less than 20 years.
Wow,
Wow.
wow.
That's
And I know
remarkable.
that I believe you went through different doctors and different treatments.
Yes. So when I first got sick, they sent me to all these doctors and doing all these things and in and out of the hospital and therapies. I went to doctors and they did not believe me. The tests were inconclusive or they didn't find anything right away. MS is really hard to diagnose unless you are a textbook case, which doesn't really happen very often. And
Okay.
there was all these middle-aged doctors seeing this young girl who they couldn't find it. It wasn't normal. And I had some depression when I was in high school, and they saw that in my chart and just figured that I needed to see a psychiatrist and that it was some sort of conversion disorder. And I kept telling them there was something wrong with me, and they didn't believe me. As I've gotten older, I'm way more forceful in my medical care, and I can literally tell you what I need when, or how to take my blood, or what's the best vein. But
Well,
yes,
yeah.
these gentlemen told me over and over again that I was basically crazy instead of not being healthy, until I found a doctor that actually found stuff for me and helped me and treated me.
Yeah, that's a lot in that. I hear persistence most of all, because when we should know our bodies better than anyone, but a lot of times, we don't have the scientific or medical training, but we know when something's off in our bodies. So you could have very well said, "Hey, yeah, the doctor said that there's nothing wrong, so there's nothing wrong," you know. And I had a similar situation where I knew something was wrong, and again, I went through that process. It was only a couple doctors, but it's nothing wrong with getting several opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Because even dealing with doctors, we put our trust in doctors, but they're human too. And I've had some bad doctors, but I've had more great doctors than I have. So sometimes that can be a challenge. But when you know something's going on in you, and again, I want to say this too: go get checked out. Go get checked out by
Yes.
your doctor. Do regular checkups and regular blood work and see what's going on up under the hood, as us men would say. Go see what's going on, because I encourage, the
Yes.
thing that I went through was for men, and I encourage, whether strangers, friends, family, hey, go get checked out. Don't be scared. Mine, I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't
Oh,
have any symptoms at all, but I had a great doctor. And let me say this, I may get some letters on this one. I prefer female doctors because they're more compassionate and more detailed.
do
That's
you
been
feel
my
like they
experience.
listen better?
Say again?
Do you feel like they listen to you better?
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. And the bedside manner, except for one, the bedside manner has been 5 star. And so again, we're dealing with human beings, and I'm not knocking men doctors. I'm not knocking doctors at all. But I'm saying go see your doctor and get checked out. And so I guess we got to do a show about doctors, but or maybe we just did. I don't know. But actually, I really love your story, and I know that you sent us a video, and it's a 3-minute video. So if you don't mind, let's get into the video.
Okay.
And
Do you want me to do a little?
can you set it up for us?
So I was invited to speak at a conference for International Women's Day in DC this year.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I was asked to share my story and to really share how I became who I am and everything. And for 15 minutes, I got up there and I spoke, and I faced my fear of being the center of attention and speaking in front of a room full of people. I did it. I'd never been so terrified in my life. If I was doing a cooking demo, I would have been so less terrified.
Right.
But
Okay.
I
Well, I'll
shared
tell you
my
what.
personal
Let's
story.
bring in the video.
I didn't have the typical college experience. It was also the first time in my life someone told me I could be dying. There have been a couple other times over the years that somebody's told me, but this was the most memorable. I was terrified. So I faced my mortality when I was in college, in 19. I can't say that it went over very well. I had a few months where I might have acted out a little, might have had my own version of showing people I was my own person. But it was more about when you're 19, I was actually mad. My friends were all studying and partying and just living their lives, and I couldn't do that. And when you're young, you want to be planning your future. You want to be thinking, what is my 5-year plan? What is my 10-year plan? Or I want to go to this party, or I want to go out. I was officially diagnosed when I was 21. And into the 2 years between 21 and 19, I was sent to what felt like every specialist under the sun. And when I mean every specialist, I think one doctor didn't know what to do with me, so they sent me to another doctor. It felt like it was never gonna end. Now, this is the best part. Every doctor had their own version of telling me, oh, the test didn't show anything. Or my other version, that's my favorite, is everything was inconclusive. So we can't really say for sure. So I'm going to refer you to a psychologist. They thought I was crazy and that it was some sort of conversion disorder. Each doctor I went to read what the other doctor wrote in the chart. Now, mind you, every single one of these was a middle-aged male doctor who had no idea what I was talking about. And I knew so much deep down that there was something wrong with me. Now think about that. I'm young. I've never really been sick like this. I'm sent to someone that's supposed to help me, and they're telling me that it's in my head. What would you have done back then? Like at 19, that picture you guys have in your head? Would you have pushed back? Would you have asked more questions? I wasn't as assertive as I am now in my healthcare and what I need. So I just kind of went with it. I didn't know what else to do. And it took a long time before they figured out what was wrong with me. You know,
All right, there we go. Seemed like we had a little technical difficulty, but I think you did a great job for that being your first time in public speaking, and again, sharing your story. In that, when you were talking to the ladies, how was the response?
I actually got a really amazing response when I was done. And I had some people come up to me when we broke and tell me there was a woman in the audience who had MS, and she came up to tell me that she understood everything I said and that it was really amazing that I spoke and what I had said and how much she related to it, and that it was just, I guess she really connected to what I had to say.
That's great.
And what you don't see in that clip is me telling them the reason I'm holding a paper is because the lesions in my brain, I forget stuff. So I couldn't memorize my speech fully. I didn't want to forget all the amazing details that I had put together. And it was an amazing experience that I think I'm actually going to do again because everyone was telling me how amazing it was. So hey, if anyone wants a public speaker, I'm right here.
Hey, we might as well get it on in there then. If you want a public speaker, you can reach Ashley at boom.
There I am.
I love technology. I really do. But I think what we're going to do, Ashley, is we're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to hear about some fabulous dishes, recipes, your menus, all of that great stuff.
Yes, so excited.
Okay.
When we return, we'll be right back with Fire and Life Talk. I'm your host, Pastor Gary, co-host, Pastor Gina, and our fabulous, wonderful guest, Ashley. See there, I messed the name up again.
Tresoline.
We'll be right back.
Abram traded his home in Ur to become the father of a nation. Ruth traded her homeland to become the great-grandmother to a king. Moses and David traded their sheep to become leaders of Israel. Peter and Andrew traded their nets to become fishers of men. Mary traded her housework to sit at the feet of Christ. Saul traded his prestige to become Paul, a leader of the church. St. Augustine traded a life of debauchery to author over 100 works promoting the gospel of Christ. Albert Schweitzer traded a successful career to train as a doctor and establish a hospital in Africa. Rachel Saint traded her grief to dwell among the natives who had killed her brother. Corrie ten Boom traded anger and resentment to forgive a brutal Nazi guard who put his faith in Christ. John and Betty Stam traded their lives to testify of Christ in communist China. Cameron traded the money he spent on Starbucks for 40 days to raise money for water wells in Uganda. Dale traded extra hours of work climbing the corporate ladder to mentor fatherless boys in his neighborhood through basketball. Sarah traded her teaching career in Dallas to teach Muslim children in Morocco. Heather traded comfort and routine to be a foster parent to children in need. They put their faith in action, being intentional with their time, money, and passions, so that they could bring the love of Christ to the world. What are you willing to trade?
We are back, this exciting show with Ashley Tresoline. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow. There we go. I'm gonna get it down. But again, welcome back to our show. We have Ashley Tresoline, and she was talking about her challenges in that first segment. But now we want to get into her element, talking about food. So Ashley, you said several things about food, and one of them that I like is food is wealth, and that we all can be healthy from the inside out.
It is, because here's the thing: is there are so many people I talk about as an example. You know, we all heard of the person that was a runner, a marathon runner, and they dropped out of a heart attack, or that guy that, you know, works out at the gym every day and just died in his sleep, or anything like that. But the thing is what are they putting in their body? I know so many runners that think they can eat anything they want because they run all the time. Well, you're not fueling your body properly, because your insides are doing all kinds of crazy things. Just because your outsides look good don't mean your insides are good. And, you know, just because that guy woman was working out every day doesn't mean that there wasn't something going on in her body. If you don't eat healthy, or at least take things in moderation, your body is not going to like that. Like you said, underneath the hood, you need to know what's going on under there.
Yeah, you need to know and what we're putting in, what it does while it's in there. So what does a healthy day look like pertaining to food and what we intake?
So I try not to be too specific on that, because here's the thing: is a healthy day looks different for everybody.
Yes.
What your health problems are, what your goals are, everything is different, because we're all unique creatures, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it may be sugar that causes you to gain weight and you're trying to lose weight. Or you may have a diabetes problem or a blood pressure problem. So your diet may have to be different than someone else's. So you might need more protein and less carbs, or you can't eat certain fruits, whereas the person next to you can. So I never like to say that there's only one way to do it, but I do advocate making sure that you're getting enough protein. Your plate is incredibly colorful. You want to be in that rainbow. You want to be having vegetables and fruit all day long. You need to have, you know, magnesium rich sources, iron, things that our body doesn't make normally. We need to make sure that we have those in certain foods.
Yeah, and that's so important that you mentioned that, because everyone's body is different. And like we were talking about the first segment, it's important to go to the doctor, get that blood work and see what's going on, see what type of body that you have. And again, I'm not a medical expert, but I hear that some people's bones are bigger than others. You got the different blood types, you know, eat according to your blood type, do this, do that. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Throughout all the generations, you hear all these different things. So I know that you do like individual, like packaging for people. Can you go into that?
So I have a program that you can do virtually, or you can do it in person if you're near me. We do a 3-month program where I come up with grocery lists, recipes. We'll do a virtual pantry clean out for you and online cooking classes with me. Just like this.
Wow.
But you're in your kitchen, I'm in mine, and I show you how to do things and
Wow.
cook the right meals for you. Here's the thing. A lot of my clients come to me, they've had blood pressure issues or heart problems, or they have elderly parents they need me to help cook for, because no matter the age, the minute you get dietary restrictions or something changes, unless you're like me and really love to figure these things out, or you really love to cook, people stand in the middle of the grocery store looking around going, now what?
Right. Right.
So they need a little help and a little guidance, and I can help them start on their way. There are no diets. There are no easy fixes. If you want to lose weight or start a fitness plan and you want to start with a particular diet, that's fine. But here's the thing. Those are not sustainable for the rest of your life. The only thing that is sustainable are good eating habits and good practicing habits every single day. I am not saying that when you want to share a dessert with your partner or your friends, or have that extra glass of wine one night, that's okay. If you're allowed to drink, go for it. But I'm not saying that's something you need to be doing every night.
Right. I think discipline. You have to be disciplined. And
I think more balance is the word.
Yeah, that's good. I guess I'm thinking about myself because, and my wife is laughing because I'm doing this program that I got from the doctor. Just full disclosure, I take a lot of meds and I don't like it. I don't like the way my body feels. So I'm trying to do this transformation, not trying. I'm in the process of doing this transformation. So I'll do great, and then, get invited to a cookout or, get invited out. And so that's why I mentioned discipline, because a lot of times, places you go to, the menu is not healthy, or what they have on the menu is that they say healthy is really not desirable. So, I have to do a lot of pre-planning,
Right.
And again, just to stay disciplined. I know, Gina, you had some things because, she's been wonderful in the kitchen and helping. We've been on this, this health thing. But it's not just, like you were saying, it's not just a one thing. It's a journey and a lifestyle. But Gina, you had something.
Well, I am interested. I know you had talked about inflammation-free foods. And that is one thing I am interested in, because I know that a lot of the illnesses that happen are from inflammation. And I know that you've had some different types of foods that you can use, that you use to have inflammation-free food.
So it's not like it's going to completely get rid of inflammation in your body, but it can help calm it down. Right. There are studies that show, like for my MS, there are plenty of studies that have shown that eating a gluten-free or a low gluten diet is good for me. So that is typically what I do. Dairy will cause inflammation in your body if you have things like your gastrointestinal tract, as far as it's harder for you to break down. Joint pain, things like that. Dairy causes it. It's not bad for you. It just, if you're having inflammation, it's something you might want to tamp down. Anything in the nightshade family is going to cause inflammation in your body. Things like eggplant, tomatoes, potatoes, things like that. Things that can help are celery, berries, anything that's antioxidant rich will be a good thing. Maybe if you want cheese, stick to sheep and goat's milk. And if you want other dairy, maybe some alternative dairy. Start with the almond milk, coconut milks, those kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we were doing, is the almond milk. But again, that desire, I got to have the vanilla in it. So
No. You don't have to. You want it unsweetened, and if you get an alternative milk, I'm going to say this so that people understand. If you are going to buy any sort of alternative dairy, non-dairy milk, the only thing it should say is nuts, filtered water, and some of them say sea salt. Those are the only 3 ingredients that are acceptable on the back of the label. If there is a label that has this much of ingredients on the back, that is not a good alternative non-dairy milk.
Yes. And that's what we like about your program, is that you educate people on healthy foods.
Sure.
But tell us about one thing that when we first started, we seen how, man, this can get really expensive trying to do the right thing eating. But I know that you have a plan that at any price point, you can get healthy foods.
Right.
Yeah. So there are ways to get healthy foods. If you have to eat organic only, you can stick to the Clean 15 or the Clean 14. Every year they release a thing about which is the highest in pesticides and which is okay to buy non-organic and which you need to buy organic. Typically it's stuff like lettuces and berries and things that grow in the ground, because those absorb all the water and the runoff. And so if there were any chemicals, they absorb them. But like bananas, nothing's penetrating that shell. So you're good.
Say that about bananas again.
So bananas have such a thick outer shell coating, I don't know what you want to call them, peel, that typically getting them non-organic isn't really going to hurt you. That may be a little controversial for people, but they're usually never on the, list of things that you have to buy organic.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are so many other foods that are like that. But I also tell people to check your freezer section. Stores have sales all the time, and you can buy organic produce, organic fruit, stick within season, check your farmer's market. My farmer's market takes WIC and SNAP benefits.
Okay.
So you can still get local and fresh produce. You just need to kind of look into it a little bit.
Okay.
That's more kind of a preparation and really just seeking it out. But it's worth it, though. It's worth it. And I know sometimes we get inundated with all these different trends and the new things. Try this and try that. And sometimes we can get caught up into that because we say, well, technology on every level, hey, this is the latest thing. It must be good for you, since we're hearing about it all the time. But how do you feel about trends and how to view trends?
Well, some stuff's fun. I prefer not to try a lot of the TikTok trends because most of those are inedible. Some of them are fun, like the baked pasta with the salad. Like that was actually cute and fun. There's a few with like toasts and things that are really cute, but there's been some inedible things that are actually not safe for people. So please use your good judgment.
Right.
I don't want to hear of people eating things like NyQuil and chicken. Please don't.
NyQuil and chicken. Oh Lord.
That was like a TikTok trend that was going around.
Wow.
Like, I don't even know who came up with that or whatever. I don't know. Somebody had to be high.
Oh wow.
On the NyQuil. It was on that syrup.
Yeah, I don't know where they got it, but like there are food trends that are fun. There could be some trending vegetable dish or some authentic, Asian dish that's going around that's like, picked up like Asian street food or something that's, the new hot trend. That can be really fun to check out and do or play with at home. Sometimes they say play with it at home if you don't want to get it out because, getting it out might have more sodium, sugar, whatever.
Yeah.
So see how you can play with it and make it a little healthier at home.
Right.
Well, see, that's the things about the social media. You mentioned TikTok, and I see people preparing dishes all the time, and some of them look so good. But what makes me angry is that you can't taste it, and they don't even offer to share it.
Well, I do post recipe reels on my on my Instagram, but I don't think I can send everybody that wants that recipe. I don't think that's possible.
But we're going to get to some of your other products that you do offer, and I know we're going to partake in them. But let me ask you a question, because all the creativity that's on social media, how do you come up with your creativity for your recipes? What's your inspiration?
I kind of take it from everywhere. It's fun to watch some other people's stuff and say, hey, that looks like a really cool way to shoot that. Like, how they might have shot whatever their video is. Or if there's a trend going around that's fun, like in the health and wellness world, it's baked oatmeal. And I have a video that I'm going to be posting with that. And that's actually fun and healthy and, not harmful to anyone. Let's be real about that. But I put my own spin on it. Or I go out to eat and I read something on a menu and I'm like, that doesn't sound good, but that part over there, I bet if I do that and I start adding this, like when I go home.
Yeah.
Or I walk through the farmer's market and I start, like, I'm dangerous in a farmer's market. I will walk through it and my eyes are bigger than my stomach. So I start thinking about stuff and then I come home with lots of bags.
And that's a great to be creative, because a lot of times I know I was like this for a while, that, oh man, I got to eat this bland food like this and do that. And I think this is, it takes 30 to 40 days before you actually renew your mind for a new habit, whether that's good or bad. So I'm like, man, I got to eat this for 40 days, but
things don't have to be bland. They don't have to be boring to be.
Right. If we do our research,
interesting.
Yeah, if we do our research, we can find things that's creative and that actually taste good. And I think too, that's where we start at, is with our palate. But we have to look deeper to that, like you're saying. Health starts on the inside, and that's the most important. But I tell you what, you mentioned your relatives. You mentioned your recipes. So this is where you can find them, correct? You have a lot of things on your site.
Yep. We have stuff on our blog, and anything we do on media appearances and things like that, all the recipes are on our blog.
Okay. I tell you what, we're going to talk business with Ashley when we come back, because, I mean, you just do it all. Chef, you're in the community, you're running your business. And again, I got to mention the marketing. That's what got me, was the marketing. So I want to talk about who does your marketing and all that. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with Ashley Tresoline.
Hey, there you go.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J. Cooley, the host of It's Your Life Radio with Dr. James Cooley on Positive Vibrations, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on E360 TV. Come join us there. Looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Well, we're back with Ashley Tresoline. We're talking foods, we're talking challenges, we're talking success. In this last segment, we're going to talk business. And again, you're tuning in to Fire and Life Talk. Don't forget to comment, to subscribe, to like.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, do all that while you're visiting with us. So, Ashley, tell us about your corporation, Bella Foods. One thing
So
I'm interested in is where did the name Bella come from?
Bella. So I'm an Italian girl, and my great grandmother used to, when she used to hug me, she would then grab my face and say, "Que Bella."
Oh,
And it means beautiful, but also means a lot of other different kinds of things in Italian. It's like beautiful, wonderful kind of thing. And I'm a foodie, so that I kind of put the name together.
Okay.
And
That's
if you
great.
look at my logo, there's a spoon and a fork. Now, if you know any Italians or older generation Italians, there was always a wooden spoon and fork up on their walls.
yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, my aunt used to threaten to hit us with the spoon, my cousins and I, when we would cause trouble when we were kids. It was always an empty threat, but still, she used to do it to scare us. But it's a reminder to my family.
Yeah, I grew up in northeastern Ohio, so I'm very familiar with the Italian cuisine and the Italian culture. So that was another thing when I seen your name, because I was pronounced it Tresoline.
A lot of people do.
So tell us about how you got started and where you're at in your corporation, your goals, and all of those things.
So I was 29, my 29th birthday. I was having lunch with my best friend, and I had been through a few different jobs, and I couldn't find one that really fit me and my skills when I graduated college, and none of them felt right. And I had been cooking for years. Every time we had a family party or barbecue, anything, I did all the cooking and preparation for it. Nobody else did. And I took over the holiday baking when I was about 16 or so. So all the Italian cookies and everything we would do for the holidays, I took that over. And people tried paying me for my food many, many years before I even started Bella Foodie. And I said, no, it's fun. It's a hobby, whatever. And I decided on my 29th birthday, I did not have a partner or a family to support or anything. So if I didn't take the leap now, I wouldn't be able to do that. Taking a risk when you have a family is different than taking a risk when you're on your own. So the following summer, when I turned 30, Bella Foodie opened a few days later.
Wow. See, that's very encouraging that whenever we have an idea and coupled with a passion, that we have to take, of course, we got to prepare. So when that opportunity comes, we got to step out in faith. And that's why a lot of people, including me, I know I got at least 2 books in me. There's a lot of people that have the passion, they have the ideas, but we never push through to say, hey, I don't know if I really, just fear. So that's great that you shared that, because you have to overcome fears, when you get out there.
I just feel like, I'm sure there are plenty of people that can take a risk and be married and have families and partners and things, and that's totally fine. But personally, I know my friends that are married and have families, it's more of a gamble for them than if you're on your own. So my baby, Bella Foodie, was born. Over the years, we have adapted and changed some of the things that we have done, especially during the pandemic. We changed direction a little bit because, we had to serve our clients and the community in different ways. So I learned how to do a lot more stuff virtually, and I learned a lot more technology than I ever thought I would ever learn in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to share what I do. And we have some things that I'd really like to do with the company coming in the coming years, this year and the next. Hopefully we can make those happen.
Yeah. You have to take that initiative to step out, but also have plans to grow. And one thing I like that you did is you partner up with other companies and other people, Can you tell us that process?
So I partnered with a lot of different nonprofits in our area. I've worked with Girls Inc. I'm actually doing a project I started last week with Square One. I came up with this planting initiative with the kids. So
Wow.
we're planting some seeds. They have an outdoor garden box. And we're going to cook with the stuff once it sprouts. But in the meantime, they're learning about it and growing, and we're going to move them outside. So I'm also hoping that stuff we plant with 3-year-olds might actually grow. I'm crossing my fingers on that one. They're learning about all this stuff, and they're typically in an underserved community, and this isn't something that they typically do.
Right.
But they're having fun, and I let little kids play with dirt, so I kind of, I'm already winning.
That's great.
So, yeah, that is great. Again, changing a whole generation.
Right.
I mean, at least just they can see cause and effect. If some seeds take, other seeds don't, what happens when you grow something, or how you grow it, or the process and all of it. And at their age, I mean, it's very simplified, but they get to see a process, and then they feel good about it.
And I mean, planting the seed and then watching it grow, you also learn about life. You know that plants, it's an actual living thing.
Right.
And I found a lot of therapy getting your hands in the dirt and planting certain things and learning how to fertilize. And that one year we had some cucumbers. They was longer than my arm. I said, well, I don't know if I should eat these, because of the fertilizer that I was planting on there. But and then I seem to always go back to myself, my experiences. But one morning I'm out watering my little garden box in my pajamas and house shoes. And, the cucumber leaves were big, to shadow them. And normally I go and move them with my hand. But this time I didn't. I'm watering and I seen something move, right? And then it kept moving and it had a pattern to it. I said, oh, man, no. I just knew it was a snake. So I'm screaming, Gina, bring the shovel or something. And it was a copperhead. Yeah.
I would have ran so fast. I am terrified.
Yeah, so we have a lake nearby, so we have our own ecosystem. The frogs come to every year we have a dominant insect. So the frogs come to eat the insect and have baby frogs, and the snakes come to eat the frogs. So yeah, we had that going on, but I'm trying to say it in a nice way for all the snake lovers, but we had to send the snakes to the other side. Yeah. But
maybe grow them on your sun porch or something.
Yeah, so just beware. We have to be, depending on where you're at in the nation, you have to be careful, in the garden.
Yes.
So,
I just
I know, right? Yeah. My neighbors was like, take a picture of it. I'm like, no, I'm good. I seen it real life. I'm okay. Yeah, but yeah, let's get back to this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
So some of your plans are very educational, and you touched on it, but tell us more about your interactive classes that you offer.
So I teach workshops, either a lecture version, a demo, or interactive. A demo is usually I do a little bit of lecturing with people, and then I do a demo and they get to try whatever I do. The interactive is they're participating. It's a cooking class where they're learning just along with me. And then the workshops are usually about a health topic and how to improve and things like that. So I do all kinds of stuff, and I love it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, we can see your passion.
Yes.
And it's all over the website. That's why I keep putting the website up there. I encourage people to go to the website.
Yes.
And I have to ask, who does your marketing?
Well, I mean, what aspect? You like the graphics, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, the graphics just really stuck out. It's really smooth and flowing.
The photos are done by Hillary Lynn Photography here. Hillary's the only person that has managed to get me in front of a camera and make me not feel awkward. I didn't know owning a food business meant that I had to take photos and become the center of attention.
Yes.
I never thought that was the thing. And then the graphics are done by Chick Media and the wonderful Jax Shea. Nash. She got married. Sorry.
All right, so you're gonna have to get a discount, and we're gonna have to get a little change from them for giving them their shout out today.
No, they do a lot of wonderful things for me, and they take my graphics, my PR, anything I need. So they don't always.
That's wonderful.
That is great. Do you have what's your favorite recipe, or what's your favorite dish to prepare?
See, everyone asks me like I have a favorite. I think it's like trying to pick your favorite child.
Right. That's true.
Depends on what time of the day it is.
I don't have kids, but I feel like it's like trying to pick a favorite child. I feel like that's the feeling I must have. Anything with pasta is always good for me, but I use alternative pastas a lot. Anything from brown rice to cassava to, I mean, there's some amazing ones that now have green pea and lentil and quinoa, and I've seen so many different kinds lately so even if you want pasta, you can do it in a healthier way and get protein and fiber in, so you're not just eating carbs.
Right.
So I always like playing with that and then doing some traditional things and untraditional things. In the summer, I enjoy mixing up some fabulous salads with some like grilled fish or salmon. And, basically, if the ingredients are fresh and they're in season, you have to do very little to them to make them taste good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And again, it depends on what part of the country, or literally what part in the world that we're in. By God's grace, we've been able to travel with our ministry all over the world. And I learned that we can connect with anyone when it comes to food.
Yes.
Because everyone has to eat. So again, that's my big thing. I love to try different dishes and different cultures and things of that nature. And I found that, here in America, when we were talking about trends earlier, is that a lot of them are not healthy. And but the nations that we go to, everything like you were just saying, and this is what reminded me, that they're so fresh. Everything is fresh. And I remember I was in this country, and that's a long story, but I'll make it very short. They had this chicken, and the chicken was so small, but once it was prepared, I mean, it just was delicious. And then I remember we were gone for a few weeks, and we got back, and we started like seeing these big chickens in the grocery stores. And we like, man, what is the deal? Is it steroids or, but I learned it's what they eat.
Yeah, it's all in what they're fed and how they're bred and things like that. But I also feel like food's a wonderful connection for people. No matter what I do, whenever we have a party, people always stay in the kitchen with me. No matter how I set up my house with where food in different rooms, anything, people follow me.
Yeah.
I think making food for other people or your family or friends is an act of love. And then when you prep food for yourself during the week and things, or your family to get ahead, is a form of self-care to take care of yourself. You need to look at it as a form of a way to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned preparing foods. I mean, how should we approach that? Our lunches the night before.
Well, you can get stuff ready ahead of time to get you ahead. Like if you roasted some chicken and you just diced it up, put that in a container. You can make like a big batch of some grain you like quinoa or brown rice or something like that. Just keep it plain and put it in the fridge. That way you can add it to either a stir fry or add some olive oil and some seasoning and put it with some fish or something you have. You can make mashed sweet potatoes or something and keep them going, but see the point, or saute some veggies or steam some veggies. And if you keep them just kind of plain, you can pick bits and pieces and like say add some steamed vegetables to a chickpea pasta or something, where the pasta only takes about 8 minutes to boil. So, you know, you're ahead and you add in a few seasonings or fresh herbs and you got dinner in less than 20 minutes.
Wow. So it's all about creativity, preparation, and eating healthy in your product.
And slice up any vegetables that you plan on using, like carrots, cucumbers, anything you're going to put in a fresh salad. I always tell people.
Yeah, I thought Gina would elaborate on her mixture. She has this food processor that sounds like an airplane, and we hear it every day. But you know, she tricked us and the kids. You know, one day we were eating mashed potatoes, and it was like, oh wow, baby, it's different. You know, and it tastes pretty good. You know, and she's just laughing, and you know, she did it till we got done and told us it was cauliflower.
Hey, you know, a good roasted cauliflower can taste like potatoes. Try celery root next time.
Okay, I'll do that. But yes, that is just wonderful. Can you tell me? I know that you do teach kids, and how important is it to teach kids about food and cooking?
Well, I also find that when I teach the 20-something-year-olds, it's not a skill they've learned unless it's really big in their family or the culture they grew up in, something like that. But kids, I do it more as they start to recognize healthy things. Or if I get one kid to start eating another vegetable and the parent is just so grateful that their kid's eating 2 vegetables now because they're so picky. It's so they start recognizing what healthy food looks like.
Right.
Because kids don't always recognize that. They see what they see on TV or what their friends bring for lunch. And not everyone sees that, hey, we can make this. And then I hear from parents that their kids ask to make these recipes over and over again. And that makes me so happy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great. Again, changing the generation. That's great. Very powerful in what you're doing. The challenges that you've overcome, and I love the support that your community gives you. So tell us some of the things you touched on it. We got about a minute left, but touch on how we can contact you and some of the things that's coming up that we can participate in.
So you can contact me. You saw my website at bellafoodie.net. We are on Instagram at bellafoodie7 and Facebook at bellafoodie. And you can find me all there, all the good information. I have a workshop coming up on June 19th, 5 p.m. Eastern, and it's sponsored by Her Story Circle. And it will be a conversation about food as medicine, and you'll get some practical things about that. It is virtual, so no matter where you are, you will be able to participate. So we could have 1,000 people in the room. It doesn't matter. You'll still be able to participate no matter where you are, as long as you can get on at 5 o'clock. Let's try that again. At 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
That is great. Bella, you have been Bella. Ashley, Ashley, you've been a great guest. We appreciate you stopping by and taking time out. You are welcome back to Fire and Life Talk anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. And thank you for inviting me. You guys have a wonderful day.
Yes. So again, thank you for tuning in to Fire and Life Talk. Again, come back because we always have great guests. And this has been educational, wondering, encouraging, empowering, equipping, all of that. So again, until we're back again, God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Fire and Life Talk, where Jesus is Lord. If you would like more information, visit our website at fireandlife.org.